What's going on YouTube? Okay, Dad. It's Lightray versus Dino Rabbit. New deck I've been working on. And you can see Lightray Gearfried. I don't know, I just like the deck. I like using decks that people don't think of. Um, People saw Lightray Gearfried. Oh, this card's garbage. It can't be used. And I was just like, no, this card is basically a big ass shin. So it has to be good. I've got to find a way to use it. You know, we all know how good Shein is. So I got some millage going. I'm holding the Lightray Gearfried, so I'm trying to mill. Ask my opponent mill Zors in the end phase. Make sure he doesn't have the Veiler. Of course, he's not going to Veiler first turn. He's like, whatever. So I mill the Jane, Solar, and Torrential. And pro mills are pro. Pretty crappy mills, but it's okay. Because I have plays and options. At this point, I don't know what my opponent's playing. And then he drops 1900 Vanilla Guy. I'm like, Dino Rabbit, amazing. My hand can't really handle a bunch of back row. And Dino Rabbit plays. And of course, he sits back row and Dino Rabbit plays. So I'm like, well, should I pick off a back row or should I just go for it? I'm like, fuck it. Solar, draw a couple cards. Make sure it's okay. Draw two. Lila like a boss and a Raikou like a boss. Mill two. Count my graveyard up. I got 4 different lights. 4 different names. I'm like, you know what? I'm finna test this dude's gangster. So I'm a junk Synchron. Hoping he doesn't have the Veiler. He didn't have the Veiler. Get the Raikou. I mean, at this point, I don't think my opponent would have warning. I'm sure he would have wanted to warning the monster. And then he thinks about it. Yep, and he flips the warning. I'm like, okay, I got you. You can't have 2 warnings down. So I dropped the big boss. Payow. He's like, the fuck? And he looks at my graveyard. Yeah, viewing opponent's graveyard. People always do that. I love it. There's 5 different names. So yep, already 5 different names. And people say I should run JD in this. I already have to wait to get Gearfried online. I don't want to wait to get JD and Gearfried. There's just too many potential dead cards. And while JD can clear the board, I just like being able to control the back row. Locking my opponent down the back row. Because JD can get cleared by Dark Hole, and generally Gearfried cannot. So I set Torrential just in case he has a ham play, because Dino Rabbit can go ham magically. I can MST Hole, and just go ham. And they play Lances and, Book of Moon. So I'm just like, well, I just want to cover all my base. All my base are belong to him if he has the nuts. So I set the Torrential. He draws. He's pondering his plays. I know he's like, with him taking this long to think this play out, I'm like, he doesn't have any back row. He doesn't have any additional back row that are going to be useful at this point. He drops a tour guide. I was reading Acid Golden play. I'm just like, no way. I bettered that like really fast. I figured the first card was bad, and the second card was the one that needed to get there. And so I didn't summon first. And no reason to walk into the Torrential and then have him chain something else. So I set the Rico. He draws Grand Mole. And when he summons this Grand Mole, I'm thinking Desperation. Bounces my guy. I'm like, sure, dude. He didn't set an additional back row. So I'm like, okay, he wants me to walk into a torrential and chain something. So I'm finna Bryco this back row. You know, I'm just like, flip, pop. I'm thinking that was torrential. Nope, it was a solemn warning. And so I was just like, wow. So I'm thinking to myself, well, that second card is probably a, road or something. And heavy storm for no reason. That's like the only misplay I made. A heavy storm for no reason. I just like, well, I'm finna get in for game. He set those cards. So I go in, swing. And he actually had the freaking gores. So he drops the gores on the Zephyros attack. And I'm just like, man, I feel like such a putz. I stormed for no reason. And there was absolutely no reason for me to storm. I mean, he would have dropped the gores anyway. But, because he could have just activated on my guy, and I could have just negated and continued with the attack. But I don't know what. And see, I comment to my opponent, did not read gores. Ugh. Yeah, I got greedy and got cute, and it was very, very bad play to burn the storm. And the reason I say that, because at this point I didn't win, and if he just like plopped his hand on the field, I'd have been screwed. So, this time I have options. I'm thinking, looking at my extra deck, and I'm wishing that I had the Butter Spy Assassin in my extra deck. I'm like, why did I put Roach? I hate Steel Sworn Roach. I really like the Butterfly Assassin thing because it's another light. It's a warrior. So it's like fits Gearfried perfectly. And so I could have put that token into an attack mode, reduce his attack, and then ran that shits over with Phoenix Gearfried and been like, GG. But as it stands, I'm forced to get it in with Raikou and a direct attack. So he drops the Guaiba, and I could have Regeki braked here. But again, I'm thinking, okay, he's like played every card in his hand, and he has yet to set back rows. So if I Regeki break this dude, then he sets two. I mean, yeah, I guess I can in-phase Regeki break and then summon Lila break the other one. So, that's another misplay I did here. And so then I'm thinking, he's going to go Doko, then play Dark Hole and negate my negation. And then set his last back row. But nope, he goes into Utopia to try to stall for some turns. So I'm like, okay, is he going to set a back row? Say nope. So now I have the Regeki break live again. So I summon the Liler. Overlay. My stroke. Put that shit face down. On your back, Utopia. Get in position. Puts him in position to get the stroke. And opponent lets me win. He admits defeat. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Let's get some thumbs up and I'll show you the deck list. WK Dad and I'm out.